Hey improvisers, did you know your scenes could become hilarious sketch comedy? Join Improv to Sketch, a live online workshop from the Sketch School on November 1st and 2nd, where you'll learn the secrets behind turning your favorite one-time improvisations into scripted sketches. Taught by a longtime head writer and director at the Second City, this online weekend workshop is fast, fun, and limited to just 8 participants. It always sells out, so snag your spot now at thesketchschool.com. That's thesketchschool.com. Welcome to Yes Also. I'm Suzi Barrett, and my guest today is one of the all-time greats, Lennon Parham. You know Lennon from her original series Playing House and from shows like Veep and Parks and Rec and a million other things. And if you're in the improv world, you know her as a stalwart of the UCB scene, first in New York and then in LA. And you might have seen her in ASCAT or in Paul Scheer's Dinosaur Improv. I loved hearing about Lennon's early days at UCB and how she felt like her own personal improv style didn't naturally mesh with the UCB style. And in part 2, we hit some fascinating topics, including the power that comedy has to reach darker emotional places. She talks about getting an actual job at the actual Hooters in order to do some character studying. And she breaks down her unique writing process and how she uses improv to create and develop characters and scripts. Part 2 is for subscribers, and you can easily become a subscriber by going to yesalso.supercast.com. And if you want more of Lennon's work, make sure you check out the show Somebody Somewhere on HBO Max, which Lennon has written and directed episodes of in season 2 and 3. And you can see her crush it as an actor on a Disney show we both worked on called Electric Bloom. All episodes of Electric Bloom are now streaming on Disney+, and they're all great, but boy, Lennon has a banger of a role in the 2-part season finale. And now, I send you to Lennon herself. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Lennon.
Hi, Suzi.
How are you?
Today I feel good.
Okay, great.
I mean, let's do it day by day.
Let's do that. Yeah, minute by minute.
Today, poco a poco. Today's good. I was excited to be here.
Tell me why.
Well, I've been listening, and I'm such an improv nerd. So it's so fun to hear everybody's process and what people, like I just listened to the Asher Perlman.
Yeah.
And then I subscribed to
I saw your name pop up on subscribers. I was like, God,
I was like, I gotta have
her.
these part 2s. I had to have the part 2 on Asher's because I'm so curious about improvised Shakespeare. And then I had to have part 2 on Mantzoukas because I feel like I was there for like the 75% of it, but I didn't know him until I knew him. So I missed the first quarter.
So you had to stalk that last 25%.
Yeah.
Yep. All the part 2s are great. If you're listening, and I think if you're hearing this, then you are listening, subscribe.
Yeah.
Were you always, from the time you started improv, were you an improv nerd, or did your nerddom grow?
I think I think I connected to it early on. I was obsessed with like Whose Line Is It Anyway, the British version. And like I grew up in suburban Atlanta, so I didn't have a lot of access or awareness of comedy as a career except for like Saturday Night Live. But then I saw this show and there were kids in the hall and some, like Tracy Ullman was a big inspiration. But I didn't really see that as an option until much later. So I think in high school we did comedy sports. We just entered a competition because all the high schools were doing a comedy sports competition. And I was like, well, I know what that is because I've been watching all of these episodes of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah,
so
like, I've been doing a one-person party quirks in my living room for 3 years.
Hell yeah.
I always guess.
Or that was already playing that way with my friends, So we did it and it was like electric. I remember, this is so terrible, but we did a gibberish scene, me and my friend Clay Fowler, who was a younger classman, but like we just like got it. We did a gibberish scene and we were given jive.
Whoa.
So that's
dates
tough
this
now.
piece.
That's tough now. But it was very successful.
It was unfortunately very successful.
But the moment that really cemented it for me was we did Super Freeze.
I don't know Super Freeze. This is more than freeze tag. Okay.
So it's freeze tag, but every time you tag in, you're adding a person to the scene.
Oh, that's fun.
And I was the last one to go, and I tagged in, and I went, Fame, and everybody, the house came down.
Yes.
Whatever everyone was doing, it just matched
turned
up.
into
Oh my God,
dance.
everybody danced, and we won the rubber chicken. And it was like, I was like, I had just never, it was just so easy, and I was succeeding, and all the like weirdness that I had been trying to like figure out where to put like fit, you know?
You found your puzzle piece.
Yeah. Then I went to college for theater and tried to fit back into the box, you know. We didn't do a lot of improv, but I went to college with Jack McBrayer.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Where'd you guys go?
The University of Evansville in Southern Indiana. So it's a small liberal arts school. They have like an incredible theater program, a conservatory style. And I met like all my great best friends, and so many of the people that went there are like working actors. And it was just like a really solid foundation for someone that wants to be an actor. But the drive was like to grad school, theatrical, you know.
Yeah.
And Jack was in the theater management department.
What?
He was not a performer, but he was literally the funniest person I'd ever met in my life. And we would do like these work studies together in the costume shop. And just like, what's you got over there, sir? You know, just like do these dumb bits and characters.
The head of the department is like, we actually need you guys to do the job. Every time we come in, the costume closet is more of a mess than when you started. There's wigs everywhere.
But also dream of dreams to be in a closet full of wigs.
Dream of dreams. Yeah.
So anyway.
To be trapped in a costume room
like,
with Jack McBrayer.
Just a bunch of like women's shoes from the 40s.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, it was just so fun. And again, easy and fit and felt right. And it was, I think the first time I like played like that with someone, you know, and like I kind of my game raised to meet his game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I saw him, I mean, he was a senior when I was a freshman. So this was just this one year. And then he went to Chicago and he did IO and Second City and all that. And he would just like, we would talk and he'd be like, Lennon, I'm getting on the ETC stage or whatever it was. And I didn't know what any of that was. I knew Second City was I knew all my favorite like SNL performers had come from there, but I didn't really fully know. And then between junior and senior year, I lived in Chicago and I taught theater day camp like an hour north of Evanston. And I lived in Evanston, and every Friday night I would go see Jack in Georgia Pacific.
Yeah. His IO Herald team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, they would have a sing-along with a piano, and they would put in requests, and every week they would put in the request for Rocky Top because Jack could clog.
Whoa.
And so could I. And so he was like, Lennon, get on up here. And so it was the first time on an improv stage, and I had just watched them do like some magic, you know. And then I just got invited up, and I got to like be silly and fun and clog with him, which is just so dumb.
How do you know how to clog?
I just grew up in Georgia. I don't know.
Oh, you both grew up in Georgia. Yeah. That's wild. You both had like the same life path.
Yeah.
Wild.
We figured out that we think we were I'm not supposed to say this, but I'm going to say it. He was a high school mascot.
Oh my God. Of course
and I was
he was.
in the marching band. Played the drums just like Mr. Mantzoukas. And I think we had to be at a football game together.
Yeah.
Me in the stands and him on the field.
Of course. There's no way you weren't. Did you grow up in like towns near each other?
Yeah, like within like half an hour. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think he went to Heritage.
This is...
And I went to Parkview.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he went to Heritage. Oh, you went to Parkview? Oh, cool. Go Panthers.
Conyers. Anyway, but then at some point, I think that summer, he said something to me like, I think you'd be really good at this. And I was like, I think I would be. You know, I was kind of put that in my box for later. And so when I moved to New York, not many years later, like 3.5 years later, I did a detour in Mississippi for 2 years teaching high school French.
What?
With Teach for America.
Sorry, quoi?
Exactly. Exactamente. That's Spanish.
Yeah.
I immediately signed up for Second City because I knew I was just like, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Second City.
They had like they did a trial run in New York. So I was like, I'm going to sign up for classes at Second City because that's what Jack did.
Yeah. You've got to follow Jack.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Right.
And so, yeah, I started taking class with Second City, and it was their, like, I guess, I don't know if it was the same classes they teach in Chicago or Detroit or Toronto or whatever, but it felt like, you know, their curriculum. So we were learning like one session was about characters and one session was about like object work or environment or whatever. And that really laid nicely over what I had learned in theater school.
I felt the same thing.
Yeah.
I did theater school and then Second City classes. Yeah. And it was very, like, there was a lot of overlap.
Yeah.
And a lot of, like, kind of more theatrical exercises, like pass this invisible banana around and now use it somehow in the scene, and that will build our environment silently. And it was very, like, not for laughs at first. And did you, like, as soon as you started classes there, or not as soon as, but like when in your process did you decide to kind of just lean fully that way and put all your eggs in that basket?
I don't know if I don't know if that was a conscious decision. I was just like, I know this will be good for me and hopefully it will lead to other things. And, I want to learn this. I want to learn how to do this. And I was just like brand new in New York and like waiting tables and also working at this playwrights conference during the day. And so it just kind of overlapped. And I just wanted to learn, you know, how to do it, sketch and improv in that way, you know?
But it wasn't with an angle of like being an improviser. It was still like you're like aiming towards theater and performance.
Yeah, I guess I want to be an actor.
Yeah.
Like, and I was auditioning for like whatever was in backstage that week or sending my insane headshots to...
Do you have them still? Can we post one on our Instagram?
I definitely have them somewhere. But it was like the photograph was taken in Evansville. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Eventually, I got really good ones taken by someone in New York.
Yeah.
That were more like misty or whatever.
Oh, that halo-y glow that was in for a while.
But this was, And you know, you go through physical changes at that time where you're just like, oh, yeah, right. I looked like that then. Like you just have
every year you look like a different person.
Yes,
yeah. You're like, my face is trying to find how to fit onto my skull.
I know. I think I hit that like maybe like late 30s. I hit it. And then I got pregnant and it was all gone.
And it was all gone. You had one glorious month where you looked like yourself.
Seriously. Yeah. But then, okay, so I did Second City, and during Second City I met, and Jack taught a class at one point because he had moved back to New York. We had a great teacher named Tom Carosa, and I met a bunch of cool people. Some of it I'm still in touch with. And then in the final, we did a showcase that you auditioned for. And it was I think it was the first one that they did through their program in New York City. And we got cast, and then it was September 2001. So we had a pretty big upset in the world, and it changed, I think, comedy probably forever.
Yeah.
But very immediately in that space, the show became either more important or more precious or less.
We have to cut the airplane sketch.
Honestly, we did a runner of stewardesses.
No.
Yes. Again, it killed. It was all in jive. Just kidding. Yeah, we did. And anyway,
and you left it in the show?
It was in the show.
Yeah, there it goes.
We did
the show
a
must go
sketch
on.
about the Taliban.
Wow.
That was new. That was a chosen sketch.
That was chosen on the 12th.
Kimmy Gatewood was in that class.
Wow.
My friend Molly Prather was in that class. My friend Leslie Mizell was in that class. A bunch of incredible people. Yeah. And so Molly and Leslie were on teams at UCB.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how I found out about UCB. Because I did not know that at all.
You needed the word of mouth. Because it was brand new at that point. Yeah. Or newish in New York.
I think it had been there a couple years
from
probably.
The late 90s.
Yeah. But then they were like, we're doing 3-prov competition. You do it like a 10-minute head-to-head 3-prov with another team. And then whoever wins goes on to the next round or whatever. And I was like, okay, what's that? And then I did a 10-minute 3-person improv scene on the UCB stage, never having seen a show there, in front of Ian Roberts, Sean Conroy, and Matt Walsh, I'm pretty sure, as the judges.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, this is hard. Like, it was hard.
Yeah.
I didn't have any skills to do anything other than short form.
Right. You had short form and you had like make the jump rope look believable.
I was really good at that. I was really good. I was really good at grounded characters, at all the slow stuff that you learned in Second City.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, I don't remember it being easy. And then, we lost and I was like, oh, okay. But then I started to like learn about UCB and we would go see, we wouldn't go see ASCAT because we couldn't go stand in line for some reason, but we would go to McManus, the bar where everybody hung out afterwards at the time that ASCAT got out. Just so we could like see all of the like SNL people. And Leslie knew some of them and Molly knew some of them. So like Horatio or, so we would just be like near them.
Go stand at the other side of the bar and watch them exist. Yeah. I mean, how exciting.
So exciting.
It's like, and it's stuff like that is formative because that is something that shows you that you're not so far away from the door as what younger you thought you were.
Yeah.
Like the doorway to the rest of your life in comedy is right there. They're at the same bar. They're performing at the same theater where you did the tournament. And right? Doesn't it make it feel a little more
I guess it
accessible?
does. I never thought about it that way, but yeah, I think you're right. Just being in that same space, it's like, okay, like they're humans. They're not super, they're on this show, but it's like they're drinking beer too.
Yeah.
At this bar that, and I'm just like one person away from having that knowledge.
Right.
And so then it was like, well, what's next? So then after I found out about UCB, I was like, look at this like group of humans like getting together. They want to do shows here. This audience is like crazy committed. They have a space, like a place that they can hang out. We didn't have that at Second City. We were only there when we had class. There was no like communal space, they were just like renting out space. So I started taking class at UCB, and I was my very first class was Ari Voukidis, and it was also his very first class teaching. And I think I was like, because I had so much theatrical training, I think I was like a little cocky.
Yes.
And so I would like, and one week, and Ari never, I don't think Ari ever called me out on it, but Brian Husky subbed one week. And I was like, I literally remember raising my hand and being like, shouldn't he do his object work downstage so we can see what he's doing? Like, what a bitch. What a bitch.
He needs to cheat out. He's upstaging his scene partner.
Literally said that. And I think Husky just looked at me like, what a bitch. And then he was like, no, he can do it however he wants to.
Well, then I recommend raking the stage or raking the seats, because there's no way.
Are we going to be in the round, or like, is this a proscenium style?
Yeah, I was performing thrust, and he seems like he's doing arena, and my blocking is completely off. Are we on a diag here, or what?
It's not the Globe.
It's not the Globe, Lennon. Improv in the round is such a fun concept.
I do like that.
Yeah.
I do like that idea. But that's like kind of who I was, doing that. And so I don't think I fully bought into what the UCB like kind of had to offer. And I didn't have any UCB friends except for those two. And I wasn't like going to see shows. I was just taking classes in order to get time to perform.
Yeah.
And then as I took classes, then I started to fall in love with the teachers and some of the other students. And then I got, there was a little theater called Above Kleptomania that formed, and they did their shows in a former strip club. But we all
the strip club was called Kleptomania, or the strip club was Above Kleptomania?
The comedy renaming of the space was Above Kleptomania.
And formerly it was a strip club.
Correct.
Called something else.
And it had not been changed in any form. There was still a pole, two poles, mirrors, seating around the wall, a small stage. And I got on a team there. I shouldn't say quotes. It was a real team that I took very seriously. Carl with a K, we named it. Mm-hmm. And then we performed there. And then I was on that team and taking my like level 3B class with, I think Billy Merritt was my level 3 teacher. Michael Delaney was my level 2 teacher. And I loved him. Billy was great also. And then I was in 3B with Julie Brister.
How cool.
When I auditioned to get on a Herald team.
What did you love about Michael Delaney's teaching, or what were your takeaways?
I think that there's a tenderness and a practicality to the way that he taught. It's sort of an approach and just like a grounded realism that felt like meaningful. Mm-hmm. So everything he said, like if he found it funny, I was like, so it meant a lot. You know what I mean?
He would, instead of laughing, he would write a little note on a Valentine and gently walk it up to the stage, and you would open it and read that he thought what you said was funny.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so nice. And then you can have a scrapbook of all the things that you made him laugh with.
I have a mental scrapbook because I had stopped. The UCB method, the UCB style felt crazy to me.
Why?
It was so fast, and it felt to me, at least in classes, like we were skipping a lot of stuff. So I think coming from the Second City, I was like, well, I have all this great knowledge. Like, we're not teaching that in these classes, and I'm still having to do scenes with people that don't know like how to do blank. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we're just skipping to the game of the scene, or whatever we were calling it then. I'm not even sure we called it that then. I'm sure we probably did call it the game of the scene.
But yeah, that is the shadow side of UCB. And like at its extreme, you have performers that are very heady and playing the intellectual aspects of the comedy.
Yeah.
But just standing and talking with very little performance commitment or stage presence or emotional life. They're not using the space. That doesn't feel like a lived-in world.
Yeah.
And you're coming from a theater background, and then Second City, which leans that way. And yeah, I can see where it's like.
So it was like character first, right? And then what's the funny thing there, as opposed to here's the idea and let's like inhabit that.
Yeah.
So it felt very like quick, and I was like, I don't know if this is for me. Like But again, I knew that this was a place where if I could get through the process, I would get to do shows. And that felt like a means to an end. You know what I mean? And so I had taken, and I took Delaney, and then I took a break. And then Molly Prather, who was friends with Delaney, told me in person, I guess, that Delaney had told her to tell me that I needed to keep taking classes because we needed really funny women in comedy at the theater.
What a rush. You gotta do that.
So I signed up for another class.
He's your tender, meaningful teacher.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I signed up for another class and then, got on a team. And my first team was Dillinger.
I've heard of that team.
And we were like a little wonderkin team.
Okay, that's why I've heard of it. Who was on that team?
Zach Woods.
Yeah, okay.
Anthony King.
Yep, heard of him.
Joe Wengert.
Okay.
Brett Christensen. Risa Sangarai.
Don't know.
Eric Tenoy.
Yep.
Sarah Burns.
No. I love them. Like, yes, no.
I think that was everybody.
But yeah, what a stacked lineup.
And everybody was so fucking good.
Yeah.
And and everybody had different skill sets. It was just like such a smart like way to put us together. Like we were just puzzle pieces that all fit together. And I don't think I said much the first like couple shows. Like I have a video of our very first show.
Oh my God.
And I watched it and I was like, oh God, I didn't like say much. I was so overwhelmed, and nervous, terrified because Zach was 17 he was like a baby.
Right. And also 17 feet tall.
Yes.
And 1,700 IQ points smart.
Yeah. And Anthony is almost exactly my age. We both grew up in the South. We speak similar language, but his understanding of story and structure.
Yeah.
And like his connective tissue. And also he knows all about musical theater. There was just like everybody, and Eric Tenoy was like the connector. Like if you ever did a pattern game, he was the one always who was like in there, and bring it back, or did the word that like got us back to where we're going.
Puzzle solver.
Yeah. And Brett was so incredibly smart, and Risa also just operating on a different level of like, she was always like 4 steps ahead of everybody. And then Bernsey, you've seen her in American Vandal, and she was she's been in a bunch of stuff. She's so funny and was like this like rock star. Like it was almost like a rockabilly look that she was rocking. And I was like I just couldn't believe it,
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, I was not like seeing shows at the UCB because I waited tables 3 nights a week and worked in this like playwrights conference. And so like, I don't think I had ever seen a Herald when I got on a Herald team. I was doing them, funny. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Maybe I had gone.
Honestly, you weren't far behind the people who were seeing them every week, because it just takes a while to
it does take a while,
even if you're seeing it.
Maybe there was some benefit of not seeing it. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because I could kind of do my version of it, you know?
Did you, once you got on that team and you started playing with them, I mean, did that feel like a different kind of improv than you had been doing at UCB? Did that kind of solve your issue of like, people aren't really doing it, or this is missing something? Was this like the hot tub that you craved being in, where you're so in it with everyone?
I think I was getting that in my level 3 and 3B classes, as well as that little team that I was on, Carl with a K. But yeah, this was another level, because not only was it, I mean, I was like, I have to figure out how to do the thing that I do inside of this world, right? And with these people, because that's, I didn't feel like there was really a place for it. So I was like, I have to kind of figure that out myself, you know?
Yeah. And that just takes time and reps, right? Yeah. I want to take that off ramp for a second and talk about, you said, do the thing that I do among these people. let's talk about the thing that you do. Doing that thing you do.
Oh,
Yeah, we're not talking about you. I want to talk about the movie That Thing You Do. Yes.
Great.
Let's talk at length about that.
Tom Everett Scott, incredible actor.
How would you describe the thing that you do, and how do you do it?
As a improviser,
Yeah.
I think I tend to lead with character first. I love to develop the space and understand the space that I'm in.
What do you mean by that?
Like, I often will start with object work or something to sort of lay out where we are specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind being quiet, like, at all, ever, through the whole scene.
Mm-hmm. Which feels very linked to theater. Like in plays, your direction and the script is often like, there's like several, like a page of you're just doing blocking over here. You're loading the loom and then weaving and then you speak or whatever. When you say you're establishing the space you're in and you're understanding it, what does that do for you within the scene? Is that like a safe haven now where you can always go back to decorating the dorm room or whatever the thing is? Or does it serve more of a function of like tricking your brain into feeling more like the character? Because if you guys are baling hay, now you really feel like you're in this old timey scene or whatever.
I think it just informs the character. Like, it just helps me to understand like what time and place I'm in, and therefore I can be better. You know what I mean? Like, I think for me, like, the success comes when you really believe, like, if as an audience member, you don't just see an empty stage, you're there with us wherever we are, in the airplane or, on the Oregon Trail or whatever it is, and I hope to communicate that, I think, through like great acting, as well as the comedy coming from that is actually something that person would say or do. It's maybe surprising, but it's also, I believe it. I believe it, like, against all odds, I believe it.
And the more that you, the actor, the improviser, are believing it on stage, the more that is transferred to the audience and they are buying in because you're believing it. You're committing to all of these objects in this space or the... When you're talking about character, what is your character access point or approach? Are you envisioning people you know or have seen? Are you starting with a point of view or like a mental state or more of a physical state or something that I haven't said?
It's probably a physical thing. I mean, coming out of like a monologue, that's mostly the shows I'm doing now, like Dinosaur or like Dan Black's show at Dynasty Typewriter. Those shows, and then I do the Smokes as well.
Oh, fun.
When I can. And I think coming off of the suggestion or the monologue, like, I'm usually just taking like a kernel. I'm like, Joe Wingert is the king of like a full on premise. Like, he'll come out and he'll deliver us the game that we're going to play.
Yeah.
I don't find that I am good at that, but I can. And I also don't always care that the audience understands where the thing came from right away.
Interesting. Oh, but you will bridge them there.
I think you'll get it eventually, or I guess you won't. But then maybe this wasn't for you. This particular scene. Again, I'm so cocky. But yeah, I think I like whatever the idea is, I come out like So, I mean, I give you an example, like in the show that we just did, Dan Black's Ultimate Improv Show, and Jack Quaid was our guest, and he told a story. Actually, in the very opening, before he even told a story, he and Dan were talking about how they connected to do the show for him to do monologues. And Dan said something about like, we finally connected, and he was like, yeah, and I was in a hole in Oklahoma. And then Dan was like, oh, like you always are. And he was like, yeah, we were filming and I don't know where that, So got a big laugh. And I was like, would it be funny to set something in a hole in Oklahoma? I don't know what that is exactly. But so I initiated climbing down a ladder. And I was like, so this is the hole where we're going to have your birthday party. and Paul just assumed that he was my young son, and then Dan started, maybe Dan, oh no, Andrew Dismukes was in that show, and he shouted down as the abusive father, like making us have this birthday party in the hole. But like, I didn't have the whole thing planned out. I just thought that the idea and a mom who would choose somehow to have a birthday party in a hole in Oklahoma was interesting to me.
Yeah, you're pulling, you called it the kernel. Yeah. Like an interesting
not
shiny object
for
from
the Army brats, but
not the
kernel,
right
corn kernel.
The corn kernel, not the military leadership kernel.
Thank you.
You're pulling this shiny object that caught your eye in the story or the opening or whatever, and starting a little more organically. You're not initiating with a fully baked premise.
Correct.
Do you ever initiate with premise? Did you ever find that fun or comfortable, or were you always like, not for me?
I probably tried because I had to. I don't I came out like I was doing ASCAT, still not initiating with full premises. And it was an ASCAT with Amy Poehler was there, probably Seth Meyers was there, like some big time people that, and I was like not a brand new improviser, obviously, but maybe it was one of the first like 10 shows that I had done and of ASCAT. And I, for some reason, came out and just started singing the song, the Gwen Stefani song that was like, wee-oo, wee-oo. And I was like doing this like movement, like side to side. And nobody knew what the fuck I was doing. But it was just like funny to me.
Yeah.
And Amy stepped out and joined me. And then we just literally did this. And I don't have any idea what the scene was after that, but it did not matter because it was so fun. And the audience was laughing at our insanity. And also just her, not even yes-anding me, just yesing me.
Yeah.
Jumping out there with this baby improviser supporting the shit out of me. And singing this Gwen Stefani song that maybe the other 7 male improvisers on the stage didn't even know.
Yeah.
So
that style of support is so delightful, both when you're the Lennon in the scene, but also when you're the audience in the room.
Yeah.
To watch someone make a big, brave, weird, silly choice, and then someone else shoot off the back line and dive in with them and be like, you know what? We're both going to swim through this vanilla frosting with sprinkles or whatever this is. We're both going to like fly on this Pegasus. It's like, it is so delightful. And I think that is one of the things that hooks people into doing and seeing improv is adults just being vulnerable together and helping each other out. And then it also makes for a really funny scene because it's like you're discovering something and we're,
in real time.
In real time. With Bill Maher.
I found that that type of support was really fun. Like when I would do those shows, the lottery shows, where in New York we did, and I think Jack actually brought this because they used to do it in Chicago, which is like 2 improvisers from each level come and then are paired with like veteran improvisers. And so you have level 1 students, level 2 and level 3, and you do a show at like 11 p.m. or whatever. And you're put in these teams, and most of the scenes are like a veteran and a newbie. And they're so fun.
Yeah.
They're so fun because I get to be the Amy Poehler in that scene.
Right.
They make some insane choice, and then I just like meet them where they are. Yes, and it, ground it.
Yep.
Give us, parameters, and then also continually set them up to succeed. It's so fun.
Yeah. Can you think of like examples? I don't need you to reach that exact far back, but like examples for our listeners of grounding something or setting someone up to succeed in a scenario like that. Like, what are tactics that people can use to set the other person up, or what exactly are you talking about?
Well, I mean, I think you can always give a lot of times new improvisers will come out with a funny idea, but you don't know where you are or what you are or who you are to each other. Like, just naming a person can do a lot. Like, it also makes it immediately feel real, and now we know each other. So setting the frame of it. So like, like, keep your voice down. The kids are going to wake up or whatever it is. Now we know, because we know so much stuff, right? We know that I'm at odds with you. We know that we have kids together, or there are kids in this house and they're nearby and you're being too loud. And,
Yeah. Man, and I love a textured framework like that.
Yeah.
Like volume, people having to yell because you're in a helicopter, or having to whisper because you're in a library, or having to like come over to one side because like they'll see us, Yeah. That kind of texturization. Can I do I'll be a person that's like does like a bananas, like I'm someone just coming in with a funny thing that I think is funny, and you just give it some context or ground it.
I will do my best.
All right. Popcorn chugging contest. How much popcorn do you think I can chug?
You really want everyone to like you, don't you?
What?
You're not going to get into this frat with that kind of desperation.
I thought you
Are you literally dying right now?
Just chugged a lot of popcorn. Come on, man. I thought you said be cool, be out there. You got to be balls to the wall. That's what I'm doing.
I meant as a medical professional, okay? I meant at this college where you're going to get your medical degree.
I literally have to put my balls to the wall, like medically.
Oh my God, it's all a metaphor.
Oh God, I'm just not smart enough yet. I just got to college.
We're going to find a friend group for you, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to be there every step of the way as your mom.
I don't want that. Yeah, great. Yeah, it's so fun. As your mom, I'm going to be there every step of the way. And the scene just changed drastically. Love it.
But see, from the minute I started, I was your mom.
Great.
But I have to also you have to get the other improviser. Like, in my mind, that was in my choice that I made, but until that's clear to your scene partner, then it's probably not clear to the audience.
Yeah, I thought you were just someone at the frat, you're not like the senior of the frat. You're not going to get into this frat. But it can be defined anywhere along the way.
Yeah.
Seeing yourself as my mom and then but setting it at a frat is so funny. I think you're one of the best in the biz, truly.
No,
truly.
Suzi.
You're
I feel the same way about you.
I don't know why, but your ability to you do this magic trick where you can flip into a character, and then you're so drilled into it and you never deviate, and you're able to play from that point of view, and you're able to ride an emotional roller coaster as that character, but along the same narrow tracks that character would be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
you get mad and you get happy and you get sad, but only about the things that character would get happy, mad, and sad about. And that to me is a magic trick, like being able to just understand the psyche of a fake person from the top of a scene. Like, are you a psychology fan? Are you a people studier?
I think I've been thinking about this because as I've continued to like grow in my career and the different jobs that I've had, like I'm like, what is it that's interesting, or what's like the through line here? For me, it is about like the humanity of it, like like what is truly human, and what are we showing here? What are we exploring? And also, like, again, coming back to the believability of it, like the commitment. Like I've always felt like if I'm watching an improv show and the improvisers are not committed, like, why are we even there? Like, and like, because if you're not into it, then why? I'm a paying audience member. Like, why should I be into it? So that to me is like super important when I'm on stage, to just like fully go for it in whatever that means, whatever choice that is. And thank you for saying that. I think you are like a sniper. You are like, as an improviser. I
think you are violent.
But I mean, you see people and you're like, wow, like there's something about what you do that is not, like, I feel like I could never do in the way that you do it, which is, there is a precision to your comedy, which watching it is like awe-inspiring.
Wow.
Because you can pivot in a moment, like if you're given, as the scene progresses, okay, and you're learning new things, you're immediately responding, but in the perfect way to play the game of the scene, which is just, has always been a challenge to me, to fit the character game, or whatever is the truth of the character in the scene, also in with the game, side by side. And sometimes that works beautifully and sometimes it doesn't sit well. But I always feel like you honor both of those things. And it's like a sniper, like you're just like right in the forehead or whatever.
You will notice if you look towards the audience during any of my shows, all of them have little red dots on the center of their skulls. Yeah.
In their,
I'm just aiming to just destroy them with my sniping.
But also the job that you have had recently, which we were fortunate enough to cross paths, and I was so excited that you were there for multiple reasons. One was, first of all, I was excited that you were there, period, because I like you a lot. And we don't get to like work together very often. But also, I trust you, and I trust that you know what's funny, and that every time you came in. So do they know what you do?
We can, I don't think I've talked about it on this pod yet, or I'm not sure when this will air, but so Lennon and I both just worked on a show called Electric Bloom on Disney Channel. Yay! Watch it. It's streaming starting September 17th. So this will probably be out around then. I was the dialogue coach, which is basically like you help the kids learn their lines, but you also do some acting coach stuff. I taught them improv classes, tried to tune up some like comedy bits for them, but the showrunners were very generous with me and allowed me to like pitch bits, or like it was just a very collaborative process. And sometimes I would like run in and give the director's notes if the director was tied up doing camera stuff. And Lennon was a guest star who played a very funny role.
It was really fun.
You were great.
It was great.
But sorry, so that's the context. But
so and I think that role is kind of a newish role in multicam. Because I shadowed my friend Pam Fryman, who was directing the Reba McEntire show Happy's Place, and there was a dialogue coach on that too. But he was not doing what you were doing, but he was like helping people with their lines, or you would run lines beforehand, which you did. But what I so deeply appreciated is when you would come in, if something didn't work, or maybe it worked, but they just wanted it a different way or whatever, and you would come in and somehow communicate exactly what was needed, and it would always be either work or be a better version of what had just happened. And because I know you from UCB and I know you're such a fucking killer, I was like, done. Like I knew the way that you communicated with me, I knew exactly what you wanted. And also probably it was translated from whatever they had said.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The job ends up becoming a comedy translator because you get like notes from like all the showrunners and then the executives. And it's like, okay, I'm going to funnel this into like one instruction that will make sense to the actor. And also like not squash what they're already doing because I want their genius to show.
Yeah. And also not make them feel bad.
Right.
So that's not everybody can do that. But also I think there's like a it's almost because multicam actually is 4 cameras at one time running, right? So you're holding so many puzzle pieces and you don't do it that many times.
Right.
And you kind of have to get it and you're on a timeline and you're dealing with kids. So they also like have only a certain amount of time that they're allowed to even work. So you have to move quickly and keep it positive. And it was you're just like the perfect person for that. And I'm excited to see where you go because I feel like directing is totally in your future for doing multicam directing. You would be so good at it.
So kind. Yeah. I mean, I would love it. I would not return a stork that dropped that baby on my doorstep. Let's just say that.
You wouldn't return the stork or the baby?
Well, it remains to be seen. Yeah,
got it.
I'm returning one and not the other, and you don't get to know until it happens. That's right.
Give me a ringle dingle because I want to be in that audience.
I'll give you a ringle dingle. For part 2 of this episode, go to yesalso.supercast.com. If you like this podcast and you want double the content, head over to yesalso.supercast.com and subscribe. You can also help us out for free by subscribing to us on YouTube and talking us up to your improv communities. If you have a question that you'd like us to answer in one of our Q&A episodes, or a topic that you think would make a great bonus episode, put it in a 5-star review. If you're a theater who would like to host us for a live recording and improv show, let us know at yesalsopod@gmail.com. A very special thanks to our producer, Ryan Rosenberg, audio and video editor, Brian Kessler, and Britt Faye, who does our marketing. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week. No, we won't, Suzi. That's not how podcasts work. They won't even see us. They will listen to us. So it's actually the opposite of both things you said. Thanks for listening, and you will listen to us next week. Maybe. We don't know.